Hey, was just making sure everything was up already, so now seems like it's up, so hello everyone, welcome to another Last Cloudia, whatever you want to call this. I don't know what to call it, whatever it is, but another unit review video or stream, whatever you want to call it, whenever you're watching this, doesn't matter. But we're going to be going over the new units and everything in this new update, but yeah. It's quite an interesting time because there is going to be an anniversary in like 2 weeks starting from now, so this unit, I would probably say don't get too tempted, but we're going to go through everything anyway, so you be the judge. But I don't know everything about her or if she's good yet, but let's have a look, see how she is. So some people are quite happy with her because she looks great. I do like the artwork, always looks great, all the artwork's great. Stats, int is very high, decent strength, defense and mind as well. MP's alright, HP's alright I guess. So decent stats, mostly very high int, so you can see she's probably going to be a good mage, but I'm not sure about it yet. There's a few things about her that do seem pretty interesting. Attribute resistances are pretty good. Ice minus 30 is a problem, but not that big of a deal because you're probably not going to be using her against ice enemies anyway, so I hope not anyway. Element resistances are pretty good. Resistance to stun, I always like that, that's the main thing I look for. Now abilities. Now the fact is, she is a mage unit, but she can be a physical attacker as well. If you really want her to, you could do physical attacker, but for fun if you want, but I wouldn't recommend that. I don't even know how good she is as a physical attacker, but we'll see. Skill 1, flare burst, long range and medium area fire combat attack. Because what I'm thinking is, if you got Roy, you don't have any reason to use her as a physical attacker, unless you really want to. Skill 2, frontal long range wide area fire combo attack with a fire tornado around the unit. Now, some people have been saying the animation of her skill 2 is pretty nice because it shoots out a tornado. It is pretty cool, but the skill 3 does the most hits. It's like, I don't remember, but I think it was like around 17 hits in the video, I think. Skill 1 wasn't that much, skill 2 I think is alright. Skill 3, frontal long range fire combo attack that pushes enemies away with a fire tornado centered on the unit. Now, these fire tornadoes centered on the unit, I'm not really sure about that, like, if it's any good or not. Like, the animations did look cool in the video, but the skill 2 definitely looked the coolest in my opinion. Skill 3 is pretty cool, like, it does some good damage I guess because of the good hit count, but if her skills you're probably not really going to use unless you really want her to be a physical attacker, or you can try and make her a hybrid if you want to, but then you're missing out on the robes, which some of her skills towards staff and robes I think. So yeah, that's one thing. A special, it's pretty good. Dragon Blazer, powerful fire combo attack to all enemies and reduce fire resistance. Now reducing fire resistance with her is pretty important because you can see she's going to be just a fire attacker, like a fire mage mostly, so for her to be useful she has to lower the resistance of fire by a lot for her to be useful in a lot of content, because most enemies have high resistance to most elements, so there you go. So those are her skills. They are pretty nice, but I don't know if you're going to be using her as a physical attacker. You could if you want, but I don't have as good idea yet at this time. It might be, but who knows. So traits, let's go over trait 1 first. Fire damage plus 20% and damage cap plus 4000 of fire damage. Fire magic damage plus 30% and damage cap plus 4000. Now I'm pretty sure that damage cap plus 4000 on that is only to fire magic, because it says fire magic damage plus 30% and then slash damage cap, so pretty sure that's only to magic, but that's still fine. It means that the plus 4000 at the top here is going to apply to her special as well as her skills, so that's going to be pretty useful. But this 4000 is only to her magic, I'm pretty sure. Strengthen fire attack magic unlocked from Unity's ability board. Now I don't have any ideas what this does because it doesn't say what it does, it just says it strengthens fire attack magic. It only applies to her magic that is unlocked in her ability board. So if you're learning other fire magic, it's not going to increase those, but I don't know exactly what it increases it by, what the buff is, but there you go, I guess it's there. So someone probably knows, like from in-game files or whatever. I don't have a clue yet. You could probably find out later. Trait 2 is a bit more interesting. Attack magic casting speed plus 20% is always great. Casting speed is very important, just because it allows you to spam magic a lot more often. Greatly boost all enemy attack magic power based on how few enemies there are. Now this is a bit confusing, but what it actually means is if there's fewer enemies, then your magic that attacks all the enemies does more damage based on how little enemies there are. So if there's one enemy, it's going to get the maximum boost, so that's pretty nice to think about it. Maximum damage plus 40%, damage cap plus 6,000, which is nice. Now this only applies to magic, and it's very useful. I can definitely see use for it, because if you're going up against one boss, it's basically going to increase your damage by 40% and damage cap plus 6,000 if you're only hitting one enemy. But then that boss spawns a bunch of other enemies, you're going to get less damage and damage cap. But once you kill all those enemies again, and it's just the boss, then you're going to do more damage and have more damage cap. So it is pretty useful. I can see for bosses it could have a good use, but I don't know how good her damage is for her fire magic, and I have zero clue of how good or if her unique fire magic is, because I haven't even seen what it looks like in game yet. So the only way we're going to be able to look at that is if I manage to get her, unless we can use her in an event maybe. I'm hoping so, we can do that later. But yeah, trait 2 is a bit confusing, but it's still a good trait. It's basically what I've already said, so how many enemies there are. So skills, there's some good ones here. So let's start off with charisma. I do like charismas, they're great. Fire and light resistance minus 20% to all enemies. Now this is huge because this can stack with everything else, which means it can stack with weakness as well as the circle effects, which from the math, people have been saying you can decrease an enemy's fire resistance by minus 95, which basically means if you're going up against an enemy with 100 fire resistance, you can eventually lower their fire resistance to 5, which is going to allow her to do a lot more damage, as well as if you have Roy on the team, he's going to do more damage because it's going to hit the enemy's weakness, and his paid accessory increases damage cap from that too. So yeah, this charisma is very useful. It's got very good use because minus fire and light resistance is just very useful. That's going to allow her to be more useful in content, which is always a great sign. Burning Strike, Meteor Rain, Crimson Flare, and Big Bang. Now, these are 4 different magics, which is kind of why it's kind of confusing, because why would you have all of these for it? But Big Bang is her unique magic. Now this is interesting. Fire magic to all enemies, chance to reduce enemy strength by 20%, which is nice. And damage cap of this fire magic is plus 1000. Now they've done something new in this update with magic, and certain magic like this one, they increase the damage cap of it. So think of it before as some magic was very slow to cast because of the animation, but what they've done with those skills is increase the damage cap of them, which I think is great. But at the same time, I don't think it makes up for the very slow animations of those magic skills. But I don't know how fast this magic is. Just gonna have to find out and wait and see when we use it, because I don't know. But I'm hoping that it's a good magic, has good hit counts and whatever, because then it's gonna be able to do good damage. If she can spam this, that's gonna be amazing. I don't have a clue yet, so just gonna wait and see. Flame Wall 2. Now, one thing I don't get is, yes, Flame Wall makes sense, but what it actually does is earth damage to all allies minus 35%. I would have liked an Ice Wall, which decreases fire damage, or something around that, but Flame Wall 2, the fact that she's got Flame Wall 2, the only units that have Wall 2 is Thoria right now, so the fact that they're putting Wall 2s on newer units like this is pretty great, because the wall 2s are definitely better than the first walls, because there is minus 35%, which is great. Do like that. Arcane up 3 and 5. Now Arcane ups are great because they also stack with magic ups and MP ups, so it allows you to have a lot more int and a lot more MP, and you can put more arcane ups because I can currently think of 2 arcs that have arcane up. I think one has arcane up 1, which is a new one, and one has arcane up 2 or something like that. But if you put all of the arcane ups on a unit, like I can imagine a unit which has arcane up 5, 1 to 5, right? They're going to have all of those bonuses, which is also going to stack with magic ups and the MP ups, which is going to allow them to have so much int and MP, which is going to be very good. Critical up 2, advanced aim vitals and proud force, nice for criticals. Sunflame, less likely to be targeted by enemies, chance to evade physical and magical attacks. Now this is very useful. I do like the chance to evade attacks because bosses that do a lot of damage, evading the attacks is just, it basically means you take less damage once in a while, which is very useful. More survivability is always great. Less likely to be targeted by enemies mostly applies to AI, which is going to be useful, but not as useful as the chance to evade. Beast Geyser. Now this one's new, and it's very interesting, because magic attacks are effective against beasts, plants, insects, birds, fish, and creatures. Now, that doesn't apply to bosses really, because most of the bosses are like undead, gods, stuff like that, you know. But this is a new thing which they've basically added slayers to magic attacks, which, in my opinion, that sounds very strong, but at the same time magic isn't that good to begin with. But it's kind of a unique thing for this unit because no other unit has had it before. But if you think about it like this, physical DPS units have had this for ages. Magic attack units are only just getting it now, so that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I think they're definitely working in the right direction of making mage units a bit better, because they weren't that great. But I think with this, they're going to start being a little bit better. But also, I think mostly it's down to damage cap and animations, how long it takes. That's why mages are not that good at the moment. But maybe she'll be good. And with special boost too, that does apply to this. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense if it didn't, right? Auto critical, auto advanced circle. I always like that. More MP regen. Auto recast. It's always great. Recast is great. There's no auto aura, which I'm not sure why, but I think it's because it's in one of her paid equipments. I think that's why, which is annoying, but at the same time, it's still a good thing that one of them has it. I only had a brief look at it. I didn't look at it properly, so maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I think it was accessory. We'll look at that in a bit after the arc. Awaken. I do like Awaken a lot. It's very useful for more survivability. It's one of the better ones, I think, in my opinion, because it also increases strength, defense, and mind, and movement speed when close to death, as well as recovering HP. It's very good. Fire boost and mega boost. Mega boost is great. Means you can also put fire high boost if you want to. Now they changed the text to fire instead of flame, which it's not that big of a deal, but it makes sense because everything now says fire and not flame. So good stuff. More damage cap for fire magic and more fire damage, which is great. And fire critical Neo is a new one as well. I don't know why it's Neo. I don't know where they got Neo from, but I'm not going to complain about that. Fire critical, fire magic attacks have a chance of dealing critical damage, which is great because she has auto critical, critical up 2, proud force, aim vitals. Those skills are going to be great. And fire magic attack damage cap plus 2000. Yeah, that's also great. More damage cap to fire magic. Good so far. It seems like she's got a decent amount of damage caps for fire magic at the moment, but the problem is I don't think it makes up for it yet, because if you think about it, most units that are basically all DPS units apart from a few have dual wield, which makes their hits double. Now what they had to do with single wield units was basically make the damage cap like double the amount of what a dual wield unit was to make it viable, right? Well, I don't think they've done it here. I still think the damage cap is still a bit low, but at the same time, if you think about it, what skills don't do, most skills don't do on units is skills require SET to use, and skills usually don't hit all the enemies in the map, which these magic attacks do. So that's one thing. And another thing is magic uses MP, which can be regened, so you can basically spam it. That's another thing. So I guess there is they don't want to make magic too overpowered like it was ages ago. Like with when they released Lily and she had stupidly good magic that you could spam because the time stopped. That they don't want that to happen again. They don't want magic to be stupidly overpowered again. They want to try and make it a more viable option. I can see from this unit, but she's still not going to compare to physical attackers in my opinion so far. Fire attack, raise, and raise 3. Raise 3 is new. I do like raise 3, it's on Logs's Dark Attack raise 3. More fire damage and damage cap, which applies to everything fire damage. So that's great. Find a critical raise. More critical rate and power is great. High level magic chant is also great, more casting speed. Gotta need that. Thaumaturgy ring. Boost physical attack damage based on int. So this is basically going to mean she can be a physical attacker if you really want her to, because she's got this. So you could make her a physical attacker if she's got this, but I still think it's a bad idea. But if you want to, then go ahead, because she has the option to now, because of this one skill. And if you've got the science flag, then you can put that on her too. That's going to be very good physical damage. Sorcerer's Wisdom. I don't know if it's new, but I don't really see this often. Staff and robe equipped, staff int and robe mind plus 50%. Now that's alright, it's not that great, because it's staff int plus 50% basically. So if you've got like 200, then it's plus 50, which plus 100 ints, which isn't that great, but it's still a nice boost. And plus 50% mind of the robe as well. Still nice, but it's not the best. But it's still a nice bonus, you could say. But the thing is, if you're equipping a dual wield, then you're not going to get that plus 50% mind because you're not equipping a robe. So that's one thing to note. Is she's losing out a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. Staff high boosts, great. More physical attack power and magical attack power. I still confused as why it's physical attack power plus 10% because it's a staff, but I'm not complaining about that, that's fine. I know we've had staff for ages, staff boost for ages, but it's just, I still think it's a weird thing. Magic aura. Boost magic attacks at the cost of increased MP. Now, one thing I want to mention first is you can notice that most of her unique skills are not at the bottom because most of these skills we've had before. But some new skills are like skills like Fire Critical Neo and Attack Raise 3, stuff like that. And a few up here like Beast Geyser. These skills are new to her, but they don't appear at the bottom because they're not unique skills to her specifically. What that means to me is that they could possibly be in future units. And possibly arcs, maybe. But I'm just guessing. Mind Pierce, I'm pretty sure was on Zekus, which I still don't have. But when magic attacking chance to half enemy mind and deal damage is pretty good. Synchronized Blaze. Only thing I can think of as saying like that is Synchronized Dance, but that's not the same. When summoning Stone Ignis is set, fire damage plus 30% and damage cap plus 3000. Now this is an interesting thing. I like using Yggdrasil, which she revives everyone and heals everyone. I use her the most, like all the time. But if you equip Ignis, then you get more damage and damage cap for this unit. Which is interesting, because if you don't need the revives and stuff, if you don't need the Yggdrasil, whatever her name is, if you don't need her, then you can just use Ignis. And not use it because I don't think they're that good, like the skills are not that good, but you can just equip it and you'll get this damage boost and damage cap boost, which is pretty nice, but this is the first time they're doing that, which is interesting, but it could work. So those are all of their skills. Now, there's nothing to me here that sounds stupidly overpowered. There's a lot of good stuff here that I can definitely see. Like, I think the main thing is her charisma, which minus 20% to light and fire resistance is great, which can stack with everything else. Now, there are a lot of good things here, but there's nothing overly overpowered for her specifically, so she still looks like a good unit with all her skills and traits and everything looks good. I don't know what her total magic damage cap is for fire magic, because I haven't actually counted it up. I think it's like around 40,000 or so, or 30,000 or something like that, I don't know. But her trait 2 is situational because it's depending on how many enemies are on the screen currently. And I think that's the only situational one. I think everything else is permanent, and there are a few skills that increase damage cap, but yeah. She's got a decent damage cap, but not like insanely good. Like a single wheeled unit doesn't compare to like A2 or something like that, which makes sense. But I can definitely see she has the highest damage cap for a mage so far, I'm pretty sure. Apart from Lagrabos Apocalypse, ignore that, that's something completely different. But for a mage, she's not all elements, but for a fire mage, she seems like she's going to be the best one there. Which is good, I guess you could say it's good. So yeah, she does look like a great unit. A few people might be going for her just because it's Eliza and they like Eliza, which you do you, I guess, but remember, something very important is there's an anniversary in 2 weeks from now, so you need your crystals for that, because there's always good stuff in anniversaries. You could spare a few crystals for this unit if you really want to, but I'd personally recommend to save an anniversary unless, you know, you still want her that badly, or have some spare crystals like me. So let's look at the arc. Now this is another SSR arc. Does look nice. Aldina Institute of Magic. The stats, first of all, I can see the MP on this arc is just very high. 74 MP is just, that's pretty high. And the int is pretty high. HP is pretty good too, but literally everything else is crap apart from mind. It's not the worst, but strength, defense, those are very rubbish, but you don't really need those anyway because it's mostly going to be for mage units probably. So good MP and int is the main thing. Now the attributes, I don't know how good it is, but let's see. Robe equipped, physical damage taken minus 15%, which is pretty nice. Each time defeating an enemy, int plus 3%, maximum of 10 times, so 30% basically. Resets when a unit is killed basically. Boost magic damage based on number of living sorcerer type allies, so only allies. 10% per sorcerer type ally, so if you equip this on a sorcerer, then it's basically going to get plus 10%. But it's going to get plus 10% more for each sorcerer you have on the team. But I see a problem here, and that is it's 10% per sorcerer type, and it's a maximum of 40%, basically meaning you need all of your 4 units to be a sorcerer type to get the maximum of plus 40%, which in every situation you're not going to do, because you need different types of unit, like you need a damage dealer, you need support units, stuff like that. They're most likely not going to be sorcerer types. So that's kind of a problem there, but you could add sorcerer type to them. I still forget the name of it, but you can just add a sorcerer type for like 2 SC on a unit if you want to, which will allow the unit that's equipped with this arc to get a plus 40% damage, which is going to be pretty strong, because plus 40% damage to magic on an arc is like one of the the highest that you're going to get on an arc attribute, which is good, but Again, you've got to have sorcerer type allies, so keep that in mind when using it. But it is going to be pretty good for damage, magic damage. Now the skills, Aura Arcane Up is amazing. Arcane Up is going to allow you to get more int and MP. It's going to stack up that int. Now one thing I can think of is if you get this arc, then you can just put Arcane Up on Roy, allow him to have more MP and int, because he increases physical damage based on int as well. So Roy with Arcane Up, I don't know if he has it already, I didn't look actually, but you could put Arcane Up on a lot of units. Arcane Up is going to be very useful for a lot of units, so that's great. That's the main one there. Staff Boost is alright. Fast Recast is also great because I don't think that's on an arc, I'm not sure. For 2 SC it's pretty nice. You can basically put Fast Recast on any unit you want and basically allow them to recast faster, cast magic faster, so that's good. Like one example I can think of is if you put Fast Recast on a tank unit in Arena and then put on Blizzard, it's going to allow them to cast them faster, which is one situation I can think of. Phase Change is on an arc already. Pretty sure it's an SSR arc, but it is nice that there's another arc with this. Grand Aura is also pretty nice, but I don't think I'm going to use that. One thing I can say is the main skill here is probably for Arcane Up and Fast Recasts. Everything else isn't that great, but it's still some nice skills on this arc. They are useful, they're not bad, it's just there's nothing insanely good. It's still worth having though, definitely. Now the Arcane reward, Magic Instructor's Wand. It's non-attribute staff, int is pretty good, adds mind and strength. Don't know why it adds strength, but whatever. The trait, Fire, Ice, Earth, Thunder, Magic, damage plus 15%. Now that's a pretty good trait, but I can definitely think of other staffs that are better. But one thing to note is this is a pretty good staff for an SSR arc. There are a few other staffs, actually the one thing I can mainly think of is there's a staff specifically for fire magic that increases it by like 30%, which you're going to want to use that on Eliza. If you get and have that arc, then you're definitely going to want that, because plus 30% fire magic damage is great, better than this staff for fire magic. But if you're using a different unit which has all attribute magic or those attribute magic, then this would be a great staff for them. But there is another another staff, which from a UR arc, it increases all magic damage, so that is definitely better, but that's a UR arc, so I guess you can ignore that because most people probably won't have it. But this staff is still a very good one, it's just not the best one there, and I would personally recommend to use the fire staff from an SSR arc if you have it instead for Eliza, because that increases fire magic damage by 30% I think, and she only uses fire magic anyway, so this stuff will be good for all attribute mages. Now that's the unit in the arc. Next thing we can go over is the paid equipment, which I haven't really looked at much, so we're gonna have a look at that. Trading space, this one. So again, it's got prisms, which are always nice. There's a robe and an accessory. No staff, which it kind of makes sense because there's a staff in the arc. So let's go over the robe first, which if you're using her as a mage, maybe you use it, we'll see. So it's a robe. Defense, mind is pretty good, int is alright. Mind and int are the same actually. Doesn't add any MP, which kind of sucks, but there are a few. There's another one I can think of, which is a robe from an SSR arc, which increases MP and HP regen, I think, which I usually use that on a lot of units. Fire attack magic damage, where fire attack damage cap plus 1000. One problem with that is, yes, it increases all fire damage, but if you're using a robe, you're not going to be using her as a physical attacker anyways, because you're not going to have dual wield on her, and she basically needs dual wield to be a physical attacker if you want her to be. So the fire attack damage cap plus 1000 is good for her magic and her special, and that's pretty much it. Continuous high protection effect. Now that's I just noticed that it says high protection, not continuous protection as high protection, so if that is what I'm thinking, then that it means continuous minus 35% physical damage taken. That's very good. Reduced chance to take criticals. That's also nice, but continuous high protection effect. That's going to be great, because it's high protection, which I have not seen anything that it has been continuous high protection before, I don't think. So damage cap is nice, high protection is nice, continuous, and reduced chance to take critical effects. And resists silence, I think. So this is a very good robe, but there are other alternatives, and if you're using it as a physical attacker as well, then you're going to want to use dual wield instead. So if you end up using a bunch of paid crystals and have the credentials, then you might as well get it, but if you want to get it specifically and you're free to play, then don't worry about it. Like all the time I'm saying, free to play players that don't worry about the paid equipment, because most of the time it's not that big of a deal. Apart from Loxus, because his paid equipment was just wow, but apart from that, most paid equipment free to play players don't worry about, but if you can spare some paid crystals, then you maybe get it if you really want it. But there are definitely other robe alternatives which you could use. You don't need this that badly, but it's still a nice one. And the accessory adds MP and int, but it doesn't increase it by that much. Trait, attack, magic casting speed plus 30%, that's great. That's amazing. Continuous aura effect, there you go. And boost movement speed. Now that trait is pretty good, because most of the time you would be equipping an accessory to increase magic casting speed anyways. So I'm guessing that she's got auto recast and high level magic chant and plus 20% magic casting speed in her trait and this accessory. I'm pretty sure with all of that together, she's going to be able to instant cast. She's not going to need anything else than that, I think. Which is going to make this accessory be a lot more useful, because it also has continuous aura, which is you're gonna need continuous aura effect. If you're in for the long battles, then you're gonna need a continuous aura effect, which usually takes like 7 SC. So you're saving that SC, as well as getting that casting speed and more movement speed. As well as that, you get resistance to stun and resistance to, I forget this, illness. I think that is illness. But yeah, this accessory, I would personally say this accessory is better than the robe. If you're going to get either one, I'd recommend the accessory first, because the casting speed and the continuous aura effect are going to be very handy for her being a good mage. You're definitely going to need those. So this accessory is very good, but at the same time, don't try and get it specifically unless you can and want to. So that's, I would personally recommend getting accessory first. If you have a choice of any of these three, like prisms or any of these paid equipments, then I'd personally recommend accessory first, and then probably prisms, and then the robe, because there are some good robes out there that you can use instead. So yeah, that is the paid equipments and everything so far. So now let's do some summons now. I don't know how much I'm going to do, because I want to save most for anniversary, because I have no idea what's going to be an anniversary. I think there's going to be a new unit once anniversary drops, so it might be another very strong unit, so keep that in mind. And there could be some other events going on at anniversary, there usually are, which are usually worth doing. So what I'm going to do, I told myself this, I'm going to limit myself this time. If I don't get her, then it's not that big of a deal, because she's not needed, but she would be nice to have, because she is a pretty good mage for fire and can decrease a lot of fire magic, fire resistance. So what I'm going to be doing is this step gacha, and then I'm not using any more paid crystals. I'm going to save those for the anniversary and just go for like a maximum of 15,000 free crystals, and then save the rest. But if I do manage to get her, I'm going to get the accessory anyways, because I want the accessory, because the accessory looks very good. So let's go step gacha first. tickets do have the arc if you want to get it, but most people probably would use their tickets on Gorm because he was a permanent unit. But yeah, let's hope we can get her because she would be nice to have. Probably going to skip these early ones like this one because I don't expect to get a red on these early ones because it's only a few. 2 golds are nice though. There is a free 10 pull at the end of the step gacha, that's the main reason. And 1,000 for 5. Well, total 1,300 for this many summons is a pretty good deal. That's the only reason I'm doing it. Then I have to save the rest. But yeah. I'm not going to be going all out for her because, yes, she is nice, she is a good unit, but I'm not going to be picking her because I don't want to buy a bunch. I don't want to use all my crystals and end up having to buy a bunch more because, you know, try not to use too much money, you know. 1 animation, not enough, it's going to be a gold. Yeah. 1 gold, there's only 3 though, so what can you expect? So if I do manage to get her, then I'm going to be doing more a few paid summons just to get the accessory, and that's it. I'm not going to be going for prism stuff like that. I'm just gonna, because I really need to stop doing so many summons because it's been a problem. But yeah, I'm hoping I can get her, but same time if I don't, I'm probably just going to focus on the event stuff like that. Please, it's another blue. Only 2 of you. Well, that's a bad sign though. But Tharia showed up. Go. There's only 1 again. Well, same as last time. Another gold. 2 golds. You get 90 souls there too, which is nice. So, one thing I've been doing, which is kind of, is I've basically been buying crystals and only been using the paid crystals. This one's a 10 pull, let's do that. I've basically only been using the paid crystals, so all of my free crystals I haven't really been using that much, and I know I've got a lot of crystals currently, but that's because over the past few weeks I've been doing a lot of farming, and I've managed to get a lot of units. Why is it the same animation as last time? Seriously. I've been getting a lot of units to level 100 because of the training event that we had recently. Managed to get a lot of units to 100. That's another 1 animation, that's not good. But hopefully. No, that's not hopefully. That's also not. There's 2 arcs that I've already gotten that I don't really use. Good thing is, more arc dupes means more red stuff, you know. The Crimson Ore. So, what do I want to do, right? That's the step gacha. I can at least have a look at what I've got so far credential wise, so if I want to get the accessory, that means I only have to do 15 more summons, so I'm not doing that. I'm only going to do it if I get her from these summons that I'm about to do now. These step up gachas, for free-to-play players or anyone, I personally would recommend not to do it. Unless you're missing, like, if you're missing Caldina for Trishula, then sure, do it, why not? But in most situations you're not going to want to do this because it's 15,000 crystals to get a selector arc ticket, but all of these arcs you get anytime anyways. There are 2 arcs I'm actually missing. This one, I'm missing that one, as well as another one I think. I really need this one. But I'm not going to be doing that step gacha because I think 15,000 crystals for a selector ticket that is a permanent arc just isn't worth it, in my opinion, because you can get the arc literally any other time. Let's have a look at the probabilities first, just because I haven't looked at it yet. I expect normal probability 0.8 for unit and 0.8 for the arc as well. There you go. That's basically it, so I'm going to be keeping track of how many summons I'm doing. And what we're going to do is maximum of 50 summons from free crystals, and then I'll save the rest. That's when I stop. So at least you get a bit of content to see me doing some summons, right? At least you're happy. You probably won't be happy with me stopping if I don't get her, but what can you do? There's a gold for once, but it's only a little bit, which is also a bad sign, but it's been a good sign in the past, really has, because I've had Lilibet show up and it's been a gold, and then it had a few animations and then it turned to red and then got a UR with Lobsters. Don't expect it to happen here because no UR, but 3 animations. Here's a red, there you go. Hoping for something new, please. There's 2 reds. It's gonna be the same as last time, 2 art dupes, yeah. I knew it. That's really annoying. It's insanely annoying as I have a feeling I'm just not gonna get those 2 specific arcs that I need. I think now it's 3 because of this one. Institute of Magic. But yeah, that's 110 pull, we're gonna do 4 more. And then go into the event. I think I've got a few support units that I could, like a few friends that have her equipped already, so I can at least try her out. But I won't be able to use her fully unless we get her right here. 3 the gold, 3 people. Usually it's good, but I don't trust it because I've had it happen before where I've had this situation where it's been 0 animations. I'm very disappointed. I'm hoping so. Oh, okay. Okay, fine. It's only 1. Another arc. When am I actually going to get in units? I don't know. If. Big if though. That's the second one. 3 more. It would be nice to get her, but she's not. Yeah. Another one. This one's the 3rd one. I'm not counting the step Gacha as part of the 50 because that was paid crystals are different. 3 again. Got. There's a gold. I want it to be a red, so then I can at least be happy that I know it's going to be a guaranteed red, but yeah. So let's go. 2 animations. The red. At least I can be happy with this unit. There you go. Finally. I don't expect it to be her because it's not guaranteed to be a unit when getting this animation, but I'm glad that we've at least got 1 red so far in each, but I have a feeling that's going to change with the next 10 pull, and then that's a crappy unit that I'm not going to use. 2 more. Maybe 1 more. Maybe I can make it an even number. Actually, 2 more makes it even. There you go. This does last 2 weeks. There are daily gachas. You can do these. I'm not going to though. If I don't get her from these 2 last 10 pulls, then I'm just going to stop there because I don't need her that badly. I just wanted to use a few crystals to see if I could get her possibly. Red. Yes, I called that one. That doesn't mean anything though. That just means I at least got a red. I'm hoping something new. No, there's no animations. But it doesn't matter. Another unit. You've really put my hopes up like this. Prepare to be disappointed. If you don't get your hopes up, then this is interesting. I think that's even more interesting than I thought, but it's interesting because there's no golds that time. But it's also interesting because I got 2 units that are bad. Well, not bad. They might buff Logia eventually. But my luck for the rate up has been bad this time. Hoping I get a red this time. 1 more 10 pull, okay. Hoping my luck goes into this one, but I'm also hoping that it is saving my luck for the anniversary in 2 weeks. Because if I get bad luck, then maybe I can build up enough luck that it's gonna be... I'm just using logic to hope that it works, but who knows. 3 has shown up quite a lot. It's blue. It's only 2. That could be bad. Yeah, I think this is the one that's going to be no reds. I'm hoping there's something new. I would still be happy if it was something new and it was one of the SSR arcs that I don't have, but there you go, that's kind of what I expected from this. It eventually went downhill, as you could see. I might do a few more later on, depending on how many free crystals, but kind of want to leave it there. So, how many crystals do I have left? I guess I could. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a deal. I will do all of the event stages. Come back and do a few more, if I feel like it. Until I at least get one more reg, to at least have another chance, and then I would leave it there because I don't want to do too many. But yeah, I haven't even looked at this event yet. I haven't started it. Training events on right now are pretty nice. I'm looking forward to this story because I want to know more about how she gets new stuff. But yeah, let's do the event now. Also means this stream's going to be on for longer, so there you go. Be happy about that. Hectic battle. So I think this is kind of going into the new story, so I'd recommend to watch these cutscenes. Yeah, now I'm wondering if there's going to be a shift of Roland and Lanceville, because it would make sense. Yeah, this new Eliza unit is definitely good, but I would recommend to not get her because there's an anniversary in 2 weeks from now, which usually has the most stuff. I personally recommend to save crystals for this. But if you do like Eliza and have a few spare crystals, then sure do it, but I don't think it's going to have that much of a use, but the fact that she can reduce fire resistance by a lot, she can reduce 20 if she can debuff with her special by -20 fire resistance, and with weakness it's -20, circles -20, Christmas -20. There you go, that's like 80. But if you use Gen, then that's -30 instead of 20, which makes it 95. So she can be pretty good. And she does look like I do like all the sprites and everything. That's mostly it. She would be nice to use, but the main thing I want to do is I want to see what her magic is like. I want to know what her Big Bang magic is like if the animation is fast and stuff like that, because I have no clue. I'm just very interested what it is. That's the only reason why I want her, is just to see how good she actually is, because I don't really know that much. But yeah, I will go through this whole event and probably do one more 10 pull. Have to leave it there. But I'll tell you what you don't know is most of the time I'm talking about doing how many pulls I'm doing, right? Then I stop. But then after the stream ends, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do some more. End up using like so many more crystals, just buying a bunch more, and I'm like, sure. And then I managed to get a unit or arc or whatever. I don't know why I don't do them in the stream. It's just kind of like, I feel like later I just suddenly want it for some reason. But I'm really going to be stubborn with myself and try not to use too many crystals, because I know that there's going to be a anniversary really soon, so keep that in your head. Anniversary is important. Here we go, let's start the event. Haven't really looked too much at this event. There's a new sticker, new equipment. We can look at that. Fire magic damage 12%, boost movement speed, more critical damage. Equipment isn't that great. Most of the time, event equipment isn't that great. Trading space has the equipment stuff in. What? Anything else? A prism is nice. That's good. One prism. Some mother souls, clusters, and yeah, not much here really. So it might be another boring 2 weeks, but until the anniversary, probably for me. But if I do manage to get her later on, then it'll be a bit different. So what team am I going to use? I want to use someone that has her equipped right now. Anyone that is using her. I know there is a few people, but have I used them already? Yeah, who has... I want to try her out, so... I don't see anyone yet. I know I saw someone, but maybe I already used them. Here we go. Nobody has her maxed out yet. We've got a few people here, 3 people. I'm just gonna go for him so far. And then the rest of the units I'm gonna use for event points. Ray, I was trying to level him up to 100 to get more crystals. Divine Beast Ray did get his 5th enhance, which is nice. He got more damage cap, now it's plus 8,000 damage cap, so he is going to be useful again. Because I did start feeling like he was a bit outdated, but now he is going to be pretty more useful. Who else should I use? Which doesn't really matter as long as I'm getting the event points. You had 50, I'm definitely going to be building AOG Lily. Yeah, there's probably a bunch of people that got her really lucky, but maybe I'll get her later. Yeah, I'm going to use Lily. One thing I want to do, kind of before doing this, is going back and checking Lily. Because I use Lily, I like her a lot, so I want to do this right now. So then I can level her up while doing the event a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, she is one of my favorite looking units just because of her artwork and everything. Int is very high. I'm gonna be building her later on. I'm not gonna do that now. If I manage to get Eliza, then I'll obviously build her first, but if I don't, then I'm just going to build Lily instead. That's my alternative. So let's go through these events. Go to the bottom. I want to try out Eliza to see how she is. 108 out of 108. So this will be a good example to see how she's doing so far. So this is kind of a build that I would do. Is Skyfire Meteor Staff is perfect for her. Plus 30% fire magic damage is amazing for her. So specifically, it's great. Holy Robe is one I use a lot. One thing I could do is add. Let me have a look at arcs. One thing that I was really thinking of doing was, if I did manage to get her, use Light of Science and put on black gunpowder and just spam that. That was my idea. If I managed to get her, I'd put on black gunpowder and just spam it. I wanted to test that out, but I can't do that yet. I want to try out her Big Bang skill, so we're gonna do that. See if we can do that. Because I don't know the animations of anything of what Big Bang is, so I'm really going to be interested in that. Maybe I should have used units that don't do damage just so I can showcase Eliza a bit better. Whatever. So let's have a look. Maybe I should have put on Great War of Ruin to try out a special. Yeah, well, if it is that good, if she... Oh, more cutscene. If she is that good, like, if she is gonna be a good DPS, like as a mage, if she's gonna actually have good usability for, like, doing faster damage with Mage, then I might be more tempted to use more crystals for her. Like, if she has a good use for that, then I might be tempted. But at the same time, I don't want to use a bunch of crystals. I do, but at the same time, I don't want to waste money. But who knows? Arcane Laboratory. Oh, why are we here? Oh, I guess it's part of the story. A little backtracking, I guess. Okay, let's see if I can use a magic. Big Bang. Nobody uses it. I want to see it. Okay. It's kind of what I expected, really. Okay, that's pretty good hits and pretty fast, but she does look great. I don't know why, but she kind of reminds me of a Halloween witch. I don't know why, but the first thing I thought of when I saw her artwork was Halloween. Let's try it again. Okay, 30,000. 30,000 is great. Okay. Wait, if she does 38 hits, if I do 38 times 30,000, okay, that's pretty good. 38 times 30,000 damage, if she can hit damage cap of 30,000 on each hit, that is over 1 mil damage. So that is pretty strong. But it's the big if of if you can actually reach the damage cap. It just doesn't seem that bad actually. Now I kind of want to do more summons. But I also don't. We've still got 2 weeks left. I have a problem of wanting like every single new unit because it's fun, which it kind of makes sense because I do like enjoying new units, building them and using them, but at the same time, if they don't have a usability later on, then why am I doing it? I don't know. I just enjoy it at the time. Of like it's like 2 weeks of having fun with the unit, and then after that it's like, oh, I don't use them anymore. Let's use her again. I'm gonna use a special skill this time. I've only got 2 people left, so he's got the arc too. That's good. Yeah. Okay, let's do this again. This time I'm gonna go with Great Wall of Ruin, and then I can use a special skill, because that's gonna be pretty nice. You're gonna want to use a special because I don't know how fast it charges. I mean, that's one thing. Let's see. Well, and I think her 30,000 damage cap isn't her maximum. Yeah, pretty sure it's not. So if she can get more than that, she might be pretty good. Cause I know AOG Lily could get over 1 mil damage in one of her magic attacks, which was great. Particularly annoying. Fire against ice, yeah, that's a good battle. So a Big Bang does seem pretty good, but one thing I can't really test, actually I'm going to test it in a minute. After this one, I'm going to use the last support in the story stage. That's a better idea. Okay, so for Flame Wall 2, use Big Bang again. Never mind. Lily's stealing all of the kills. Because I put... this is the build that I used on the time trials. AOG Lily with Generator, with Thunder magic attack ups is not that bad actually. Even though it can't even reach damage cap. So the damage is pretty low, but Come on. Big bang. No. Well, people keep stealing kills, yeah. I'm gonna go in the story after this one and try her out. Oh yeah, I wanted to use a special skill, I want to try that. But I will be trying it in the story too. I guess I can use it on the boss right now. I also don't know how fast the special charge is, if it's good or bad, because that's going to be pretty useful. Let's see it. So it's like a dragon, yeah, like Zekus. Okay, lag. It's pretty nice. The amount of hits it does is 34, is pretty good. 34 is pretty nice for a special. It's not the highest, but it's on the higher end. How is she sitting down? She's floating. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything about that. Okay, let's go in the story now. I want to use her in the story, just try her out a little bit more. To give her a better test of what she can do. It's not going to be the best one because she's not going to be maxed out. I'm just going to be using one of my friend units. Okay, let's do that. I'm just going to be using Etheria and Eliza. Just so then it's going to be testing her damage and nobody else. So let's go into party. Which party do I use? I've been using a lot of different parties lately. XP. I guess I can change this one. There you go. And Great Wall Ruin. And then we can try her out. This would be a good test. But at the same time, not the best test, just kind of want to see what she does. I want to know how fast she can spam her Big Bang, because if she can spam it pretty good, then that might be a pretty good magic to use. Or just use Black Gunpowder. This stage, yes, nope, yes. Okay. So we got one left. One person left to use. Yeah, we're 2 now. Okay. Good stuff. You should work, right? Yeah. Okay. Scarlet Rod. Yeah, we're just gonna be using this one. And going in like this, seeing how she can do. Mostly, all of the damage is gonna be just her. I'm going to use her special first and then just start spamming Big Bang and see how good it is. Her physical damage is going to be pretty low because she's not built specifically for it. So, Great Wall Ruin and use her special first, just going to debuff everyone. I could try and spam Glass Record on Etheria just to try out Eliza's physical attacks, which I will do, but special first in a minute. Once I at least got one of each of her skills, then I can do it. I want to at least showcase all her skills once. There you go, now special skill. She can hold more of her skill 3, which is nice. So see how much this does, and it's going to debuff everyone, minus fire debuff, which is going to be nice. Doesn't do that much, but again, it's not fully built, so physical attacks aren't, they're not that bad actually. I do like her skill too, it's pretty nice. Okay, so that's physical damage. Now I'm just going to be spamming Big Bang, like, as much as I can. Okay, 24,000. Use it again. You know, damage isn't that bad. I mean, look at their health bars go down. It isn't the worst. It's not the fastest, obviously, but... And you see special's charging pretty nicely. It's already charged. One more magic should do it. There you go. You know, that's pretty good. A lot of crits there. That is pretty nice. I do kind of like that, but at the same time, it can't compare to a physical damage unit, obviously, because you can just use Honey Elixir or something, and then just spam their skills, but it does have a bit of a delay between animations, but it is a pretty good magic attack, not gonna lie. It's one of the better ones. Like, if you look at Starverse, the Starverse I do like, but it's just the beginning animation is so slow. It just takes quite a bit of time for it to charge, but Big Bang seems like it's gonna be pretty nice. So yeah, that's most of the showcase that I can do for her so far. I'm gonna do one more 10 pull, then go back to the event, cause why not? And just do the rest of the event at least, because I do want to see the story of how it's going so far. I did say I was only gonna do 50, and then I was gonna do more, but whatever. Just remember, don't be like me. Save your crystals for anniversary. Oh, it's a blue. It's always bad. This is gonna be another no red, isn't it? Come on. If I can at least get a red. All my red luck ran out. And my on-banner luck too. Yep, there you go. There's more than one gold. You get 3. You can tell when I'm desperate when I'm asking for more golds. Okay, I've literally used up all of my reds that I'm possibly gonna get, so seems like this kind of sucks, but it's 300 summons to pity the unit is still, in my opinion, just way too many. I'm not doing that yet at all. There's no magic, really. We're just gonna be going through these event stages now. Yeah, with this team to get more event points, we're gonna need that. Actually, one thing I want to do is look at missions. I haven't looked at what we get from here yet. Normal tickets. I'm hoping there'll be a prism, but yeah, there's not. You get more extra battle tickets. I'm not sure what the extra battle is so far, but we'll find that once we get to it. So I can definitely see she could be a physical attacker if you want, but obviously Roy's gonna do much better. I am interested in seeing what the story is, but again, it's a part 2 event. Third time. Yeah. Yeah, I remember all this. Okay. Yeah, I gotta admit, most of these stories are like, pretty similar in like, oh, I have to do this, no matter what, I'm this good. I will become powerful. But that's fine, I guess. I still find it interesting. How is my normal Eliza killing things? Well, I did get her to a 5th enhance. Can't use magic. I only got her to 5th enhance just because of the ward. I wasn't actually using her originally. Well, I remember When normal Eliza came out, I did manage to get her, because at the time when Eliza originally came out, she was the best mage. And now look at what's going on. Completely changed. Okay. Where is this going, by the way? I want to know. This is mostly just backstory. I want Prince Roland to get a shift eventually. It's bound to happen. Definitely. This isn't my path. What is? Tell me. How do you know? How is this happening? This is no explanation at all. I tell ya, you better not just change like that out of nowhere. Seriously. Are you telling me she just got a true form out of nowhere just for determination? I guess it works in Undertale, but that's about it. I've still yet to play that game. I was going to. She does look great. Okay. Was that all the story of part 1? I would be surprised if it is, because that's kind of disappointing. Well, I guess I'm kind of used to the main story. I do like that a lot. It's like the most thing. I'm hoping they make more main stories soon, because I'm gonna want that. I'm getting closer to level 42. Hopefully that happens soon. Okay. So there is another normal stage. Do that. I won't do all the hard stages. I'll at least go through all the normal stages to see all the story first stuff. And so I don't know after that really. Just claim everything and probably do one last 10 pull to finish it off, and then we'll leave it there, because here's the boss. Well, it's quite easy. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying this right now. I'm only doing one more 10 pull, and after that I'm stopping. I'm sticking to it this time, because I know. Yeah, I'm assuming this one's the last one. Look how much magic tomes I got. Only 38. I really need those. I need those badly. I got so many of these from farming in Imperial Guard Commander 3, but I need so many magic tomes. I need a lot of those. I just can't be bothered. Okay, maybe that was the last one. Okay, well, that seems like that's all of the story for the first part, which I'm kind of disappointed with that, because the story really didn't really make sense. It was basically her just thinking about things that have happened in the past, and then being determined to get a new strength, and then it just coming out of nowhere. I mean, I guess story is better than nothing, but there has to be more to it. If she is going to appear her new form in the story, there has to be more to that. Extra challenge. Here's where you get Sticker and Ethereon. Okay. Hard stages. There's not many stages in this event, is there? Yeah. Okay. All of this stuff is not that important. Much of the prison we care. Okay. So that's me done for the event for now and stuff. I'm doing one more 10 pull. I'll probably be tempted to do one more after that, but there has to be a limit. Yeah, one more. If we get a red from this one, then I'll stop. If we don't, then I don't know. Okay, one more. I'll probably leave it after this, but yeah. This is mostly it for this. So, I guess I can say my conclusion right now is, oh really? Skip. What? This is bad. There's a red, okay. Hedgeopolis of Adon. Oh, okay. Well, that's me done for this stream. I recommend save your crystals because there's an anniversary coming in 2 weeks from now, so don't worry about getting Eliza. I mean, she looks tempting and all, but you don't need her that badly, and I still like using Lagrabos. Even if I were to get Eliza, I probably wouldn't use her that much because I still use Lagrabos in tower because of the non-attribute magic. So I personally recommend just to save crystals, which I'm going to be saving now. I've still got some left, but yeah, I'm saving those for anniversary unless I do one more right now, which I'm tempted, but I have to stop there. So yeah. If you got any questions, then just either ask them now or leave them in the comments, because this will be uploaded as a video like usual. But yeah, she is a great unit, but like I said already, save her anniversary, because if you end up using all of your crystals and having none for anniversary, you're going to be screwed, basically, because they don't really give that many free crystals, so you're going to want to try and grind those crystals out, get as many as you can for the anniversary, because there's probably going to be some good stuff in. So sometimes, most of the times, there's been free gacha pulls in the anniversary, which is nice. Free 10 pulls when you log in, which is nice, but there's going to be a new unit in 2 weeks, so that unit might be a lot more worth than this unit. Sometimes they release a unit which looks nice, but then like a few weeks later, like 2 or 4 weeks later, like let's say 4 weeks or like a month later, they release another unit which literally does way better than the unit that was just released a few weeks ago, which sometimes happens, so I don't personally see any reason to get her. If you want to do a few summons, then do it, but again, just keep an eye on your crystals because you're gonna need them. But yeah, that's it for me for this live stream. I will see you probably. I don't know if I'm gonna do a stream for part 2. There's not much interesting stuff happening right now, so I only really do part 2 streams when there's a collab, because then they're releasing new units, then I can cover those. But I'm a bit busy at the moment doing uni stuff, so I don't have as much time to do as many videos and stuff right now, but I will try and get some videos and stuff out when I can. But yeah, that's enough talking for me. I hope you enjoy this event, and if you do manage to get Eliza or the Ark, then great for you, because all of my luck is gone. I used all of it already. That's a good thing in a way, because then I can save more of it for anniversary. But yeah, enough talking for me. Enjoy this event, and I will see you in a few weeks or so in the next live stream. In 2 weeks is the next unit. There might be some more live streams or videos in between. I'll try to, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next one, whenever it is. Expect one in 2 weeks. But yeah, bye.